Welcome to the Exposed Street Podcast with Jared Bennett. Today's episode, I'm going to go over how it's okay to miss reps, and especially when I'm programming people for bench. With squats, not so much miss reps all the time, but for bench, we miss reps all the time. I had a kid the other day that said he's not made all of his reps the entire month. But first, I want to go over some questions that I've got through email. I had someone emailed me the other day. This email's from Jeremy. Jared, I want to thank you for the book. I really appreciate you not putting a lot of BS in it and being straight to the point and short. Thanks, Jeremy. He's got 2 daughters, and he asked, is there a certain weight that they need to get up to when squatting before I put them on box squats at 6 meters per second? No. What I like to do, especially if I got a 9-year-old, especially if I've got a 9-year-old girl, well, she's 10 now, and she did 135 for 2 reps the other day. The thing about a kid is I like to make them regular squat first to make sure that they have some type of structural squat with them. If you just straight up box squat a beginner and they've never regular squatted, what you'll see is they'll plop down on the box. They don't really know how to lower themselves eccentrically, and you're not really going to get the benefit of the box squat with them because they don't know how to lower themselves. And so what I'll call a regular squat is I'll just call it like a structural squat. So I'm not really going for sprint speed or anything like that. 9, they may not improve their sprint speed so much like a high school kid. Usually a high school kid, I can get them to improve 1/10 of a second per month on usually, y'all have heard all the podcasts before, 1/10 of a second per month, each and every month they're there. So you got some like BS studies, like I'm going to go over, do a podcast later on and go over 5 reasons dumbbell jumps are better than the Olympic lifts and try to cover some more speed and sprinting ability stuff in there. But like Jeremy's question here with box squatting and things like that, I like to take people's questions. I need to give them a call. I'm not giving them a call yet, but I like to take these people's questions when they send them to me through email. So they're asking me, but I also like to share it with you because I think it helps a lot more people out there. But if before they box squat, the 9-year-old, I really wouldn't care. 13-year-old, they need to still both have like some type of structure squat with them. If they could both squat with a 13-year-old, at 13 for a female, at least 165, 155 pounds. If they can squat 155 pounds for 2 reps at 13 or 135 pounds for 2 reps at 9, then you could start playing with it. I've got a little girl at the gym right now. Like I said, she's 10. She explodes off the box better than some of my high school guys. And so I did put her on a stint of box squatting to where she did box squat for a little bit. Then I tested her running speed, and her running speed went better. So I just kind of take the box away. I've also had a 10-year-old boy. He was squatting, trying to get some regular squat. He had some tight ankles and trying to get his structure down on his squat so he could learn how to produce force. And the kids like to box squat because they can actually squat more weight because they're already so short, so they don't have to go down that far. And so they can sit on the box and stand up with more weight. But okay, what's the point of more weight? If the more weight is not equating to a better 40-yard or 20-yard dash time, there's no point in doing more weight. And if you're squatting high, and like I had this kid the other day, he's like 6 foot, 6'1", and I've got his kid in the gym right now. He's 6'8", and he squats with a 12-inch box with a red pad, but a blue foam pad on top of it. So the Elite Fitness sells a red pad. It's like 2-inch thick. So being that he's that tall, I let him use that pad up under it. And he's been knocking off of 1/10 of a second off of his 40-yard dash on average with that, but that's because he's 6'8". I've had kids 6'3", 6'4", still use a 12-inch box with a blue foam pad on it. And so the bottom line, and at the end of each month, is, are they improving their 40-yard dash? That's all I care about. If someone wants to run faster, I'm trying to figure out a lot of things for different parameters. Like I got this little kid. He's short, 5'2", and he squats on a 12-inch box with a blue foam pad. But ever since January, he has improved his 40-yard dash 1/10 of a second per month. And so I let him, we may vary his squats. If we can do regular squats for 2 months and still do that, why not? I just try to I'll do it. I test. I'll see if it works. If it does this, it does not, we don't. So I'll say, whatever you pick for squats this month, if you want a safety squat bar, box squat, if you want a regular bar, box squat, if you want a front squat, if you want a regular squat, let's find something. Whatever squat you choose, you got to stick with. Now, I've got some kids at the gym that thinks you can go from straight bar to safety squat bar. No, they're not interchangeable, because when we're calculating, when I post on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or whatever, I had a kid squat 565. That's really 565, but at the gym, we don't count that extra 15 pounds. That my safety squat bars weigh 60 pounds. And when I tell someone 315, it's just 345. It's really 330, but there's no extra calculating in there. Just that way I can look and see without having to add that extra 15 pounds all the time. And I just tell all the kids, every bar in the gym is 45 pounds. Makes it easier for us to add weight. That way we don't have any type of confusion going on back and forth, Jared, is that bar 15 pounds heavier, 20 pounds? No, it's 45. But someone said it's heavier. I said it is heavier, but we treat it like it's a 45-pound bar, so that if you see that, because gym math for some of these kids is almost impossible. So if I see that the kid sees he's got 185 on the bar and he's been direct, he knows what 185 on the bar, so he goes and puts it on there without having to worry about him trying to calculate or make sure, or he or her or whoever's their squat. I don't have any girls actually that safety squat bar. But the bottom line again is, are we improving that 40-yard dash on a monthly basis with the style of squatting that we're using? So, Jeremy, for your 9 and 13-year-old, if you got a timing system, test them. Make sure that girl that is now 10, within her first 5-6 months at the gym, she knocked off 0.7 of a second at that age without even having the intensity that she needed to even push like the males do. And she'll stagnate here and there, but it's at that age. I'm not trying to take them from 135 to 225 at 10. That'd be sick. But I'm just trying to get them to squat all the time, because as they get older, it's going to be built into them. Now, I had a kid that used to come to the gym when he was younger, and he just started back, and he was 9 or 10 or something like that, and I regular squatted him, and he hated life. He'd come in, cry, and do things like that. And I just made him squat all the time. We have to squat something that may not be what I originally would program for a high school person, but the act of squatting built into someone before they hit puberty reaps much more benefits later on down the road because they squatted. So now this kid's not been to the gym in, I want to say 2 years maybe, and he came back, and he's going to be a freshman in high school. And he squatted 225. He only weighs like 25 pounds. So he almost squats 100 pounds more. He's not very big, but he's also ran a 4.940. So, and I told his uncle, I said, all that squatting when he was younger is now showing up today. So that's the important thing about getting a 9-year-old or 13-year-old. Anybody less than the age of 13, just get them squatting, and it will show up later. Because without squatting and not really training, that kid's strength levels relatively probably went up, because as he aged, it just kind of stayed with him for some reason. It's like when I talk about it all the time, like before a kid hits puberty, all this training and all these exercise activities that we're doing, it's almost like wiring a house before the sheetrock goes up. Because once puberty starts going, the walls start going up, and it gets harder to kind of go bust the sheetrock up and wire the walls and whatever. If you want to change the electrical, and you can think about this, you're just really changing the motor unit and the motor pathway. So before they're hitting puberty, I'm able to shove more motor neuron pathways in this direction, and this direction. And as the puberty sets in, our bodies become a little bit more plastic and not elastic in nature. So it means it takes a little bit more time to learn as we get older. That's why they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So the more training a prepubescent kid can get in, the better off they'll be later on down the road. Like you've seen pictures of me posting Colton 625 box squat at 195 pounds with no belt, 12-inch box, blue foam pad. He started when he was 8. I had a kid deadlift 600 at 195 pound body weight, no belt, and he started when he was 8 years old. A lot of my freaks, like you see Dorsey now, he started when he was in 6th grade, went quite 8, so he was 11 or 12-ish. And now look what he's doing. And so, Jeremy, I know I kind of ramble on a lot, but is there a certain weight that they need to start squatting? I like to see them squat 135 plus for reps, all the way down. I mean, not a powerlifting squat. We squat fairly close for our regular squats, but I like for the hamstring to completely cover the calf. If you look on my Instagram, you could see that little somewhere on there, the little girl. This was several months ago when she squatted 135 all the way down, calf. Hamstring covers your calf, stand up. So basically, ass to grass squat. If they can do that, got great mobility, got great structure. Then you can play with box and see if even the box is even going to benefit them squatting. Sometimes I've got a kid right now. For a while there, the box squatting was not. I had him regular squatting, and his 40-yard dash was improving. I put him on the box, and his 40-yard dash actually went backwards. But you're talking about a 5'2" kid, so it's kind of a little hairy around there to make sure the box is actually working. And so I took him off the box. 40 started improving, 40 started improving, 40 started improving. Then he asked to box squat, and I didn't really want him to because I'm just trying to get him to run a certain speed. But the last 2 months, he's improved his 40-yard dash with box squatting for the first time 2 months in a row. And they're just this week was actually test week, so I was able to see that, and it's a lot better when okay, this, but and this box may work for him this month, next month, and then all of a sudden it may not work. If it starts going backwards, I may switch him back to regular squat. I've got a kid for the first time. I've had a high school kid regular squat and improve his 40-yard dash time, where his box squat was not working for him because we'd test what changed. His back half of his 40 was bad, so I think for him regular squatting. So we're going to do another month of regular squatting to see what happens. And but some of his buddies box squat because they're getting the 40-yard dash done on a monthly basis. Now, Dorsey will not regular squat to save his life. He will not regular squat with a straight bar. It's just straight up, always safety bar, box squat. And Jeremy, 6 meters per second. I just posted on. I posted it on Twitter the other day. Dorsey squatted 455 at a 6'4", 6'5". And his next rep was like in the 0.5 range. We're not staying. The 0.6 is just a barometer. That's kind of our measuring stick. What weight did they hit at a 0.6? And then at the end of the month, we go and we'll test. I'll look back, and I've got a folder here in front of me. I'll look at the weight, see what they hit. The most weight they hit at a 0.6, this kid right here, 315, 5'3", 5'4", 5'7", 5'8". 315 the next workout, 5'5", 5'3", 4'7", 3'5". And so he didn't even get 6, so I'm trying to find if I don't have it in here. I was going to use his folder as an example of missing bench reps. But 6 is just barometer. Now, I have kids that may start off their first rep, be a 0.47, 0.48, and then maybe a 4, a 3, and a 2 if they're doing sets of 3. So the 0.6 is just something for me to look at. Okay, this kid squatted. He needs to be able to squat 335 at 6 meters per second to run a 4.9. Or he needs to be doing this 405 at whatever at 0.6 to run a 4.7. It's just a calculation number. It's not something that we are staying in a 0.6 range all the time. I had a kid miss reps the other day. I do have kids miss reps on squats. I had him sets of 3 and he got sets of 2. Now, Dorsey was supposed to do 5 and he only got 3. Bartek was supposed to do 5. He only got 2. But Dorsey's fresh and Bartek's coming out to practice. So I've got a lot of kids that coming after football practice right now. Football's getting cranked up, and they're still coming after practice to squat because they know if they don't, they're going to lose some of their speed. Because by me testing them every month, they're seeing these numbers change over and over again. And when they're not consistent, they see the numbers fall backwards. So they're working too hard to let it fall backwards. They may not come very much during the season. Let's just get to the season. I did have a kid last year that did improve his squat through the season, so he ended up coming out of season faster than he went in, which is pretty cool. But as far as Jeremy also asked, is there like he's listened to a couple of podcasts for our lower body? We squat and we dumbbell jump, let's see if I can read this. We'll do this kid right here. We did eccentric Nordics, supersetted with glute ham raises. So we just did the eccentric part on the Nordics. We did a set of 3, and then after a set of 3, we got up and we did a set of 8 at GHR, GHD, glute ham raise, whatever you want to call it. Rested a minute or 2, then did 3 more eccentric Nordics, then banged out some more GHRs. Then after that, we went to dumbbell straight leg deadlifts. Because when you're training your hamstrings, you got to train your hamstrings at the knee and at the hip. So the Nordics with a GHR, you're training the hamstring at the knee. The thing I like about the Nordics or the GHR is you have to plantar flex your feet. And so when you plantar flex your feet, you're actually activating your calf. So sometimes an ACL injury can be because of weak hamstrings. Also, it can also be weak calves. Your calves and your hamstrings cross over each other in the back of your knee. So you can have someone with super strong hamstrings, but if their calf is not worked at the top end at the insertion point, that could be a weak link, and that weak link could be the actual cause of the ACL injury because of how it's structured back there in the back of the knee. I did a video on that on YouTube on exercise demonstrations on the Nordics. But anyway, so the eccentric Nordics and GHR is working the hamstring at the knee, and the dumbbell straight leg deadlifts are working the hamstrings at the hip. We also did knee over toe lunges where you're going down, you're doing a lunge, but you're letting that knee travel over your toe, and you're doing basically a calf smash with your hamstring. And what that does, and if you got a vertical chest, what that does is it allows that rear leg, that hip flexor to stretch out so it does not get tight. If you box squat all the time, not going to full depth, with the box squat, the box squat can actually make you tight. So we'll do some stuff like straight leg deadlifts, hamstring stretch, then stretch our hip flexor out with a knee over toe lunge. Then we ended that day with cable abs. We've also done box jumps with L-sits, eccentric Nordics, GHR, and cable abs. This is just kind of what we were doing at this time, but just wanted to go over that. Hopefully I answered. Oh, and some of the accessories, like with the dumbbell straight leg deadlifts, it was like 10 reps, and knee over toe lunges was 3 times 20 yards. And for like our tricep press downs, our lat pull downs and stuff, Jeremy asked if we like 5s or less. We usually stick to the 8 to 10 range, sometimes 6 to 10. But anyway, hopefully that covered some points. And as far as like the online training stuff I do, a lot of the people online don't really give me some feedback that I need. Like this kid right here, I had him bench 255, 3 sets of 4, and a set of 5. He wrote 4, 4, 4, 5. That allows me, it did 255, so his next workout, he did 240 for 4, 275 for 3, and 260, 2 sets of 5. He went 4, 3, 5, 5. See, I jumped him from workout, this kid's folder's a little older. This was in January. So on January 3rd, he did 255 for 3 sets of 4 and a set of 5. Got all of his reps. On January 5th, I'm trying to make these kids miss reps. Missing reps allows me to know exactly where you are. And missing reps on your bench, you can get away with not being pressed at that threshold all the time. If you wanted to keep your reps at 6 meters per second every rep, that's fine. I had a kid squat 325 and he never squatted above 225. Now, you cannot take the bench press and do the same thing. You can't keep the kids less than 225 and expect the bench 325. You have to push the bench and press the bench like a mother in order to get it to move. So that's kind of what we do. And a lot of times, people are looking for like a secret accessory, secret workouts. It's not about that. The muscles don't know the action. They don't know, the muscles do not know the exercise. The muscles only know that they're getting worked. So are we working our triceps? So you can do your triceps. We can do close grip, change floor press. You can do medium or close grip incline. You can do tricep press downs. You can do dips. Pick something and press it. It's not, a lot of kids, Jared, this is the same workout we did the other day. It may be because sometimes at the gym, I don't even change the sticker. May not even change the thing for the entire week because it don't matter. Jared, this is the same workout. No, it don't matter. The only thing that matters is your bench number. Like if I'm trying to specifically make you hit different numbers to figure out where you are, I'm trying to do that. And so it's not about the exercise routine. It's like for me, for years, I was able to take my incline from a 365 incline to a 405 incline just by doing incline and tricep press downs. Those are the only two things I did. And a lot of people got to get it out of their head that it's not about how much you do, it's about how much you can recover from. And so just if I were to write someone online training like bench and tricep press downs, they'd be like, where was the rest of the stuff? Well, that's all you really have to do, but they feel like they got to do more. And so sometimes the kids at the gym have learned that you don't really have to do a whole lot. And so that's kind of good because you don't have their parents overlooking their folder to make sure they're getting everything done. Sometimes getting everything done is not really that important. As long as you get, if a kid had to come and do two most important things for his upper body and two most important things for his lower body, I would have him come in for his upper body, bench, press downs, and get out if they had to go somewhere, or come in, squat, jump, and leave. And so if you're online, if you're one of my online people, and you're just really getting your ass kicked one day, just go in and do your jumps, your squats, and be done with the workout for the day. You don't have to do the rest of the shit on the folder because it's about the next workout, especially when you're trying to do high frequency training. If you're trying to squat and bench 3 days a week, sometimes you can skip the accessories if you want. So you don't have to, but I got some kids in the gym that will do the folder, plus they'll do extra stuff. And if they get away with it, they get away with it. But let's check this kid out because I was trying to make him miss reps. I gave him 255, 3 sets 4, set 5. Made all his reps. So the next workout, I gave him 240 for 4, 275 for 3, and 260, 2 sets 5. So we are now 20 pounds ahead of we were on day one at 255. He got 5 at, and so let's see if he can miss. So nope. Then he went down to 260 instead of 255, and he got 25. So I said, okay. Next workout, I had him do 255 for 3, 275 for 3, then 275, 2 sets of 4. He went 3, 3, 3, 3. And so that allowed me to come back in and see, okay, now that 275's where my 3 is kind of stuck at. But I pressed him with 2 sets of 4 and he missed his reps and he didn't even say anything. And so over time, we got to the point where we were doing 295, 3 sets of 3, and 310, 4 sets of 3. So now we went 295, 3 sets of 3. He did 3, 3, 3. And for that 310, I wanted him to get 3. He got 2. And so that allows me to know that that's 15 pounds. So being that he only got 2 at 310, I know he cannot get 295 for 5, but we're going to try to get it for 5. And the next workout came in, 295. Let's try 4 sets 5. He did 4, 3, 3, 2. And so sometimes the next workout after that, I don't have it because it kind of got covered up over time. I'll press it again to see, okay, we did 4, 3, 3, 2. Next workout, let's do 295, 4 sets of 5 again, and see if we go 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. And just kind of base it like that. And a lot of times the kids feel like, Jared, I'm not getting better. I'm missing my reps. But then if they look back over here, oh, yeah, we were missing 275 for 4, but now we got 295 for 4. Just because you're missing your reps, you look back at your numbers. Oh, at 2 set, now it's 295. And this kid's bench max from January, February to April went 260 to 315 to 330. So we went from 260 to 330 from January to the end of April by missing his reps. So don't get discouraged that I had this kid the other day, Jared, I'm missing my reps. I'm missing my reps. I'm like, you're supposed to miss your reps. What? No, you're not. I want you to miss your reps. You try to give me the middle finger and say, F you, Jared, I'm not missing any reps today. Well, Dorsey's missed reps for a whole month. Bartek missed reps for an entire month. And this kid's bench max started off at 225. Now he's benching 275, but he's missing reps all the time. Just because you're not making all your reps within your workout or whatever does not mean you're not getting stronger. For the bench press to move and be stressed, you have to push the crap out of it. So anyway, if y'all got any more questions, please feel free to email me at info@explosivemechanics. You could message me on Instagram at Explosive Mechanics, Twitter at ExplosiveMBC. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for listening. Hope this was helpful. Thanks.